What's up, guys? It's Missy. I'm back with another SimCity build a video. Today we are going to be doing a contest to mayor's walkthrough. This person is not quite done with the contest yet, but I am doing this walkthrough because I'm using this walkthrough as the example for the storyline video. Okay, so it's going to be two things that we talk about. One, we're going to do her walkthrough alongside it, but it's going to have a whole different atmosphere to this because I'm teaching you guys a different technique. Now, when I tell you guys that there are things that you need to know before you expect to be a very good contest to mayor's player. One, you need to completely eliminate the thought that it is all based on luck, because it is not, okay? It may be partially based on chance, but you can greatly increase or decrease your chances of getting assignments or completely eliminate the chance of getting an assignment. Now, when you have that ability to completely eliminate the possibility of getting an assignment or to increase the probability of getting certain assignments by eliminating others, you have more control over what assignments you get than you even realize, okay? Now, when I wrote the technique for both high and low level comm, you have to follow whichever technique it is that fits your gameplay. She is a low level player. Part of setting the scene is figuring out what type of player it is that I'm grading here. Now, she's level 25, so she does not have a regional map unlocked. If she did, she would be a high level player, and there would be no way around that. She could try all she wants to play low level comm, but if anybody worth a damn was on her leaderboard, she would lose, okay? So, she is a low level player. That being said, low level technique says that you stack up all 7 upgrades in the main list just before beginning streaks at around 20 tasks remaining. The longest that you can go before you start the streaks, assuming that you're going to use all 15 tickets, is 9 tasks remaining, okay? Now, that being said, during that time, it is ideal that you try to, or it is in your best interest to try to secure long factory productions and all 7 upgrades in the main list to ensure that they don't come back in the streaks and cause you to fail. Now, for low-level players, you only have a very small amount of factory slots available, meaning if you get factory productions that are like 57 feet or whatever in the streaks, that's half a day for you guys. You guys can't afford that. If that happens even one more time, it could cause you to fail, especially if you don't move very quickly. Okay, so securing those long factory productions and those upgrades are essential to your success. Now, some weeks, and it's very rare that this happens, but some weeks it may just be better to just work your main list rather than even deal with the streaks. When this occurs, it's usually because you were unable to get the last upgrade in the streak. You ran out of assignments to rotate it, like you hit 9 tasks remaining, and then you started the streak and you failed it because of an upgrade. At that point, I would advise the person to just say, screw the streaks. The upgrade's only going to keep coming back in them. You can't afford to fail more streaks. Just go on with the main list and hope that it's enough. If it is not going to be enough, if you already know that you've lost, don't waste the tickets, okay? Again, that's a really rare occurrence, but whenever you hit reverse rotation, those kinds of things do happen. Now, storyline. The storyline is what we're going to be talking about today. The storyline of every single week, and everybody's got one, okay? I can guarantee that 99% of you guys watching this have never done a storyline, and that is what you need to do in order to be successful. Now, I've always referred to it as the history of your assignments in all of my walkthroughs. Now, it appears as though that nobody thinks about that. So I'm going to be wording it a little bit differently. When I do my walkthroughs, what you guys will notice if you've seen any of my walkthroughs is I begin each walkthrough with a task assessment, right? In that task assessment, I can kind of tell you guys how your week's going to go based on what is already in your list. That is part of your storyline, okay? As you work through your assignments, I'm watching which doorways are good to you, which things that you've rotated and how many times you've rotated them. If I did not do that, the chance or the choices would be different, right? So let's say that you're not taking screenshots of your choices. You're going to have nothing to look back on. And after a couple days of playing, you're going to forget which assignments you've done. You're not going to remember all 75 assignments. That is a big problem, okay? You should be taking screenshots whether you turn them in for grading or not. Because when you look back on these screenshots, usually I do the walkthroughs in 30 to 45 minutes. This is over a couple days' time for people. So even though I just saw them do repair 3 times, that may have been a day and a half ago and they completely forgot about it. And that is why it is important for you guys to follow the storyline of your week. If you show me a list, I can pick out which assignment is the correct choice based on the list in front of me. But that is pretty meaningless when I don't know the history of the assignments. Because essentially, that could be the total wrong choice. For example, this is a great example. Let's say that this person is like 30 assignments into the contest. And they have a upgrade Omega in their list about 6 assignments down. So it's been there for at least a little bit of time. And I say, well, you need to rotate that. Okay, so they do it, and it comes back for 1,000. And they say, well, I didn't rotate that because I've already done it like 4 times, and it keeps coming back for 1,000. Well, had I known that, I wouldn't have told you to rotate it. That is the history of your assignment. But looking at it by first glance, it appears as though that would be the solution to your problem, right? That being said, the same concept happens throughout the week whenever you guys look at whatever assignments it is you're doing. Now, we're going to make a storyline for this walkthrough, and it's going to help us with our understanding of her week. So we're going to practice a storyline, okay? Let's start with her prep. So her prep is glass. Usually I advise that they prep feed. I don't really know why she prepped glass. Feed has a higher chance of coming in and usually is worth more points, right? You can prep glass, but I usually just go with feed. All right, the next thing that she prepped is she prepped some paint. Okay, that's great. Ladders. All right, that's at least a long item, so at least if she gets ladders, that'll be taken care of, but it's kind of a rare assignment to get, at least for me. Melons, again, another rare assignment. It's not necessarily a bad thing to prep, though. Then we've got blue textiles for the furniture store, which those do take some time, and at least those turn a good profit, so that's a good thing to prep. Lawn chairs, I usually do see assignments for lawn chairs or saps. Now we've got rolls and donuts. It looks like she did maybe a possible half prep on each. Then we've got watches. Now watches, I don't know. I don't usually prep watches, and I'll tell you why. 1, they eat up all your chems. 2, even if that didn't matter, the watch assignments usually don't come in for very much. They're usually the ones in your list for about 800 or so. 3, usually I see caps or shoes a lot more than I see watches. Now we've got ice cream prepped, which is totally fine. Then we've got glue. It looks like glue prepped here in the VU generator shop. Okay, so moving on with her task assessment. Now, a task assessment is where you go through and you say what you know about each assignment. You break it down into subcategories of premium versus non-premium. For you low-level players, non-premium assignments are tasks that cannot be worth 3,000 points, and premiums are tasks that can be worth 3,000 points. For low-level players only, shop productions and factory productions are considered premium. And main tasks are tasks that are in your list worth 2,000 points or higher. Rotatable assignments are assignments that are in your list for below 2,000 points. They are usually done to open up more main assignments. NT/C are assignments that you either do not touch or you have the possibility of canceling if they are like, let's say, a high upgrade or something. That being said, let's get on with it. So she's got a premium rotatable VU in the streaks. So what does this mean for our storyline? What can we put out there in our little happy brain to tell us what do we need to know about that? What does that do for us throughout the week? Well, part of your storyline is that we know that we cannot get VU all week long until we hit streaks. What does that mean for us? Well, one, it means that we know that we're not going to be doing a whole lot of VU, okay? At least not for the first half of the contest. It also means that we have one of our premium tasks secured in the streaks that has a higher chance of coming back in the streaks, but that means that it has zero possibility of coming back in the main list, which is just one thing that is that's one of our good assignments that is usually quick and easy. And it's up there in the streaks, which kind of sucks, but whatever. So now we move on. The first obvious choice here is going to be that 6,000 delivery. Now this is premium, right? Because this is a double points week. So I'm gonna try to make it less confusing, but these numbers are usually cut in half, okay? That being said, this is normally a 3,000 point assignment. This would be her first obvious choice. It is a premium, right? And it's a main task, so she's marked it correctly. Now, we've got a premium main. It's above 2,000 points, so in this case, 4,000 points. And it is a shop production, so for low-level players, that is premium, so that is marked correct. Now we have a premium limited time, which would be war. Okay, limited time means you can only do it during war on the monster, and it is of main task value. Now we have a non-premium rotatable LR. LR means last resort rotatable option. For a low-level player, part of the storyline here for you guys is that we would not rotate this till the very end, right before streaks, to bring in an upgrade or a long factory production. Okay? That is what last resort rotatable means. Then we have a non-premium rotatable, actually last resort rotatable repair. At this value, we would mark this LR. If it's at its lowest value point, which is 1,200, okay, then that means LR. You do not do it until just before the streaks as a way to bring in a factory production or a upgrade. Because if you do this before the streaks, like too early before the streaks, not to secure anything, what's going to happen is this task has a high algorithm rate. And what this means is it's going to come back. That means that you've dropped your points by 800 on your average. And if it just comes right back, you've accomplished nothing by doing it, right? Okay, now, hang on. All right. I don't know what the hell marking she put there. It looks a little confusing. So this is a premium rotatable no touch. That's how I would mark it. No touch. It is at 1,200 points. She prepped glass. Shouldn't have prepped glass. One. But she prepped glass, and now she should pick that damn glass up and prep something else. Okay? It's a little early in her day to be just filling her entire factory. But she can guarantee that she will not have glass for the rest of the week. So that eliminates that from her prep, because there is no sense in touching that glass at that value. Now, this is where a lot of you guys who make mistakes, a lot of you guys that don't win that are watching this, you're thinking, well, I would have just done the glass, it's already prepped. That is why you do not win. And when you do win, if at all, it's when you're going against people who have absolutely no idea what they're doing. You cannot do assignments based on convenience, ever, okay? You have to do what's right. My players, if playing properly with very minimal mistakes, are able to average 180,000 points in 2 to 3 days of playing the contest. That's low-level players, okay? If you're not hitting anywhere near that number, you're doing something very, very, very wrong. Now, she has a 1,000 point monster on a normal week. This is non-premium and it is no touch. If the monster is not at least 2,000 points, so 4,000 on a double, you do not touch it under any circumstances, okay? Now we have a non-premium war booster. Part of the storyline for this, what do you need to know about this assignment? Well, if you don't have any upgrades in your list, you run a high risk of a 3K assignment being kicked back to you. But for this one, it's usually an upgrade. It usually results in an upgrade. So I usually advise that people do not rotate this, especially, well, okay, if you're a high level player, yes. But if you're a low level player, you do not rotate this unless you have quite a few, if not all, of your upgrades in your list. Especially if they're of low value, you know, if you have a lot of low valued upgrades, but you're still missing a few, you want to be very careful. Okay, let's see here. She has a 1,000 point non-premium, no touch on the Paris, a non-premium, no touch residential, which technically she marked no touch. It's not really no touch. Technically she could do it if she had to. She does have experience to do that regular residential. It's unlikely that she would do it at this value, but she could if she had to. Then she has a non-premium, no touch on the design challenge, and a non-premium rotatable 800 on a normal week on the epic project. Now, part of the storyline here is that you usually always have one 800-point task in your list, and that the design challenge is holding that. So if she had to do the epic, she could. But you also need to be aware that if it is before the streaks, very close to the streaks, then you would not do it because it can come back in the streaks. Being how she only has one map unlocked, if she does an assignment like epic, an epic assignment usually comes back about 3 times before it either stays away or comes back again. And typically what that means is if it comes back in the streaks, then what you guys have is you have a problem because now you're on an epic cooldown and your streaks are only open 24 hours. Okay, so that's a big problem. All right, so first obvious choice is going to be that 6,000, so 3,000 Tokyo, okay? Now she gets 3,300 on the seeds, which on a normal week is what, 1,650 or something? So what would be the next choice? Obviously the ice cream. Now she did prep ice cream, so that's good. So ice cream would be the next choice, okay? All right. Now she gets a 4,000 keys, so 2,000 holding main task value. But which one do we do first? Of these two, 1, war's been sitting longer. 2, war is limited time. 3, war is actually premium. War would be the next choice, okay? You can't just do an assignment based on its points values. You have to follow the storyline, the what you know about things. You have to put some thought into shit, okay? If she does the keys based on convenience, then that is yet again one more task that has been rotated while there is 0 possibility of this one coming back for 6,000. We want to open up this possibility as soon as possible, right? That's the idea here. So, that is correct. Okay, now she gets a 2,040 on a normal week, textiles, 2 rounds of textiles. Now, given the fact that she has glass in her main list, she has seeds, she has techs, it's looking like she's going to get hit hard with factory productions this week. Now, I also had another player in my group get hit hard with factory productions this week. So, usually when it happens to one, it happens to a lot of people. That being said, we cannot afford to take downtime right now for this. So, we would not start the textiles yet. We haven't completely crossed them off. If we can get them done way before the streaks begin, then maybe we can do them. But if we work other doorways and this ends up sitting here until we get too close to the streaks, we do not want them coming back in the streaks. For a low-level player, that's 2 rounds possibly every single time it comes back. That would be a big problem. So we would then move down to what is the next highest in the list? Well, we have keys is main task value. What is the next highest in the list? We have seeds. Now, seeds is 700 points lower, but it's premium. So what we have to do is we have to decide if those 700 points and that being premium is worth it. So what we would look at is value possibility. Technically, for low-level players, we call this a premium assignment, but technically it's not. Technically, you don't get seed assignments worth 3,000 points on a normal week. So, that being said, given the fact that the keys is at main task value, it's also holding our good doorway, right? That's the ice cream doorway, I believe. That is what we need to rotate first. Even though it does have a high chance of coming back, we need to open up that 2K spot, especially since we already have another one taken up with the textiles, okay? So now she gets 3,600 on cement. So we have a shop production and a factory production. She does have paint prepped. Now this is where somebody would make a mistake on convenience. They would say, well, I've already got the paint prepped, and rather than pick up the paint and do the cement that I know I'm gonna have to do anyways, I'm gonna make the mistake here and I'm just gonna say screw it and do the seeds. That would be a big mistake, okay? You would bite the bullet on it, pick up the damn paint, and do the cement. Because you're gonna have to do them anyways. And there's no sense in lowering your average to save you one task rotation. Now, this is why we would not have prepped the textiles just yet. Because now we have a wood production task and a seed production. Now, the seeds is 2 rounds, that's 40 minutes, but 40 minutes is not a deal breaker. It doesn't make sense to do the wood first, being how it's like 200 points lower, it just came in. 40 points isn't gonna make or break us. You're better off just doing the damn seeds first. Get those out of the way, they've been sitting longer, okay? So she does the seeds, okay. Now, we've got chairs. So, let's see, that's like, what, 1440 on chairs on a normal week? And we've got the wood. So wood would be our next choice. It's significantly higher. Okay. Now what you need to do is you need to kind of look at this list as a whole, okay? This is part of your storyline. So let's look at this list as a whole here. We have a factory production that is at least doable. Chairs is doable. Text, it's kind of iffy. Repair, that's going to be a last minute sort of thing. Monster and glass are secured. The war booster will likely result in a high upgrade, so we're not going to do that just yet. And we have 3 tasks at the bottom that are secured for upgrades. So we need 4 doorways to open up to stack up the remaining upgrades. Of those 4 doorways above, we have the 1, 2, 3 at the top that we're working, and either the text, which would be a problem if we rotated that too close to the streaks. So coins or repair, right? Meaning that if these upgrades come in really soon, it's going to cause us problems throughout the week. We're going to have to cancel. But if we can work our doorways for a while and stack them up as we go, we might be okay. Just going to kind of depend how things go. So here she's got a 3180 on minerals, which obviously would be the next choice. Okay? So now she gets a 7200 on the upgrade. Now this does not surprise me because if you look back at the choices, she hasn't had a whole lot of 4,000 point tasks. This is the game's way of trying to even her out on her points. For a high level player, this is great. For a low level player, not so much. So at this point, we have a problem, okay? This will likely need canceled. We're only 8 whopping assignments in. We've already got a 7,200 holding our spot. So we know it's probably gonna need canceled. right? Of the remaining tasks, this is kind of a problem, you guys. So she's got a 1,400 on chairs. Now, ideally what you would do here is you would be like, okay, are we going to be getting a whole lot of upgrades? Because if so, it would be better to get them in now and cancel them as soon as possible to open up better possibility, right? So right here, she should have went with the War Booster. We already had a high upgrade come in. If we get another one to come in, we want it to come in now rather than later. So War Booster would have been the correct choice here. It's limited. Taking downtime for text would not be advised. And the chairs, again, we're probably gonna have to cancel anyway. And if we do the chairs, it's only it's just another task that dropped her average significantly. We don't know if we're gonna continue to get upgrades. If we are, we want them to come in as soon as possible. She went with chairs. So she did end up getting the 6,000 war card. Okay. Again, game trying to level her out. So she does that. Okay. And she gets just below 2,000 on the shoes. Okay. Now here, it's very close to main task value. I would just do the War Booster because it should have been done the task before. Looking at this is exactly why you guys follow the storyline, okay? Because if you look at this list as a whole, just as looking at the list for the first time, okay, it appears as though that she should do the shoes, right? But if you follow the storyline and the way that these assignments have been coming in, it's yet again another assignment below main task value. The game's trying to even her out with giving her this high upgrade, high war card. We need to see if it's going to continue to roll in those upgrades. If it's not, now would be a perfect time to get the War Booster in, right? So if the War Booster usually results in a high task, then it's only going to be a benefit to us to rotate it right now. It's either going to come in right now as a high upgrade that we can cancel, or it's not going to, and it's going to come back with a high premium and open up another doorway that we can do. So either way, it's a win-win. That way we can get this stuff taken care of and not have this 7,200 on our good doorway being blocked. She probably went with the shoes because she wasn't following her storyline at all. Okay, so now she gets a 4,000 Tokyo delivery, which is just, like I said, it's just barely holding her main task value. So she makes a mistake and does that. Again, should have done the war card. So here she's got cement. Now at this point, she does the cement and she gets chems. Okay, so the chems are at like 1,700 points, which is right around the points value in which we may need to think about doing those. Given the fact that she's had pretty much every factory production this week besides feed and like metal or something, feed, metal, and plastic, it doesn't make sense to rotate repair. This, I don't understand this. This makes zero sense to me whatsoever, okay? Repair is at 1,200 points on a normal week. It has zero opportunity, okay? There are 26 assignments 26 assignments to go before you even think about doing the streaks. And she just opened up a dead-end doorway that further lowers her average, that gives her no better opportunity. This is a rookie mistake. This is like the stupidest thing you could ever do. Makes no sense. I mean, it's marked no touch for a reason, right? Okay. At this point, she's rotated like 3 or 4 assignments now, and the upgrade has not come back. It would be really nice to know if that War Booster is going to result in that upgrade, but now it's like she's just whittling away her average and her choices. So we've got that done. Now she gets another just barely main task value delivery. There's the repair for 2,000, which again, I told you guys it was going to come right back. So whoop-de-doo, okay, you got 2,000 on that. Doesn't open up any better opportunity. Now we've got wood again. Now the wood is going to need done at some point, right? It's about her only workable doorway at this point because she's not doing anything properly. So this high-valued upgrade has been blocking her for a while. She should have either done that war booster, rolled in those upgrades if they were going to come in, or canceled that thing. One of the two needed done because that was her good doorway. It's holding a 3,600 spot on her list, and that one mistake is why she's not getting any good assignments. It's why she's going to fail miserably this week. Okay, so now she does textiles. This makes no sense whatsoever. At all. All right. Now she gets a 1,600 on the Paris, which is a non-premium. I'm assuming that she does the wood, which again, really? Okay, so she takes even more downtime during active war and does chems. You needed to open up that 7,200 place value. You needed to open up that premium down below. Now she gets seeds again. Notice this loop that she's in? Have you guys seen it? If you followed the storyline, you've been watching this whole time, you should have seen it by now. We've got seeds, we've got wood, we've had cement. Look at all these things that have come back over and over again, right? Well, think about it. If we're only 18 assignments in and you're noticing a pattern of double assignments, only 18 assignments in, what's that tell you? Yeah, how many times have we had delivery to Tokyo? Repair came in twice. Cement came in twice. Wood came in twice. Seeds came in twice. Out of those 18 assignments, 5 of those that I just listed came in twice. That's 10 out of 18. That's half. And that's just what I could remember. Kind of see where I'm going with this? Pay attention to your storyline. So she does seeds again. Now what's this? Repair. Again, third time on the repair. Now it's holding main task value. It has to be done. This right here is exactly why we don't rotate this early on. Because if it does come back for main task value, that's all great and all, but it's not opening up any better opportunity. You're simply just burning the assignment basically until it comes back for a lower amount so that you can stop repeating doing the same assignment and open up a better opportunity for something that actually might give you some points. All you did was open up this doorway that essentially led you nowhere, right? So you had it at its lowest value point. You did it. It came back just barely able to hold your average, which is nothing because you lost 800 points on the first time you did it. It gave you 2,000, so it's basically like burning an assignment with no opportunity. Think of it like that. It's an assignment that led you nowhere, that held your 2K average, but originally dropped you 800 points on the first time you did it. So what purpose does it serve to rotate it before, this soon before the streaks, if you know it's going to continue to come back? Well, it's come back now twice for 2,000 points, so it's now holding main task value. It has to be done. Opening up no better opportunity until it once again comes back for a lower amount, and then it's back in your list for the same low amount that you originally rotated it for that you lost on your average. And in that case, you have just done a big head-fucked circle and wasted your time. So repair would be the obvious choice here. Okay. Now we've got keys for 1,600. We've already done the wood twice, but she's clearly not going to cancel or rotate anything to open up anything better. If she was following her storyline, she would see, look at this, her average, 8,000 or 80,000, 20 points, right? Or 20 assignments done. That's on a double week. So that's normally 40,000. So she's just barely holding up her 2K average, which is pretty meaningless right now because, as you can see, most of these assignments are probably going to come back and screw her up big time. If we don't get hit with a bunch of upgrades, it's going to be, this is not going well at all. So she does wood. She gets her 6,000 war card. Now she gets planks for 2,000. What's that? Repair for 2,000. Again, this will be the 4th time we've done repair. So, again, wonderful and all that it's at least coming in for 2,000 points. But it's not coming in for anything better. You know, like 3,000 to make up for the points that you lost on it. Now she takes 800 points less and does a Paris. Makes no sense to me. You have a main task repair that's coming 3 times. That's your fault. That's a doorway you have to continue rotating. Doesn't do you any good, though, until you break the cycle. You have to break the cycle by canceling that upgrade, by rotating in that war booster, which is a little late now. Now you're at a point where you should have canceled it a long time ago. You've got the 3,000 point upgrade that just rolled in, okay? So at this point, it looks like the game's going to make up with factory productions and upgrades. So she does the repair. She gets a 2,000 Tokyo. So again, upgrades are rolling in. 15 tasks before streaks. Well, it's a little early now. She's about out of, she's shit out of luck on canceling at this point. Okay? Rotating the war booster at this point would just be foolish. Because now, if it comes in worth a high value, it's just another thing against her that she can't cancel. Ideally, you want to cancel within the first 20 to 25 assignments done, max. Allowing enough time for them to come back in the main list and allowing you to not only have them come back in the main list, but make up for those points that you lost on the cancellation. So it looks like she's going to get hit hard with the upgrades. It's a little early to do like I said, the war booster is just pointless at this. Right now, it doesn't even make sense. So keys would be the next thing. Now, of course, now she does a war booster. Okay. And what did that result in? There it is, folks. What she should have done a long time ago so that she could have canceled it. So now she's 14 tasks away from streaks. Now, if you go back to this, she says here, I did to get last upgrade on list. She then cancels the assignment that she just apparently did to get the last one in on the streaks. Where is the logic in that? You rotated it in because you knew it was going to come in if you rotated that assignment. And then you did that just to turn around and cancel. Makes 0 sense to me. For 13 tasks before streaks. Now, what do you think's going to happen? Well, I'm going to tell you. That task is either going to come right back for 7,200, or it's going to stay away and come back in the streaks and screw her up. One of those two is going to happen. So, hang on. Okay, so she gets that done. Cancels the upgrade that she was trying to get in and gets this 3,600 on corn, which again is below the 2K. And look at, what's that? Immediately, literally immediately. Why do you think that happened? She did a cancellation, she got a task worth low points, and then the game tried to make up for it. What do you think happens when all these upgrades start rolling in? That's why we should have tried to get them to roll in sooner, so that we could figure out what to do with them while we still had the opportunity to do so. So now at this point, she's 11 tasks before streaks. Now her only chance is to basically rotate some stuff to secure some long factory productions. So she does the keys, then the chairs, then the war card, okay? Now she gets repair again for 2,000. Now, it doesn't make sense to not do it, given the fact that she has nothing else she can do, for one. For two, if it just keeps coming back in the streaks, then at least she'll be able to hold her 2K average on streak tests. Now, streak tests are usually not worth very much. So if it comes back in the streaks, that's a benefit. It's at least quick and can hold her average there. It's really important that she doesn't get long factory productions. Okay, so I don't think I've seen anything beyond this, because I had looked at this last night. So she does the repair. No, she doesn't. Okay, apparently she does the coins. So she does coins. Now, war delivery is premium. We would do that. Now she gets a 3,600 cargo. Doesn't make sense to do cargo at all. She got 7 tasks before she, of course she does cargo. Why wouldn't she? 6,000 on the Tokyo, okay. 5,000 on the war. Now we've got the coins right back, so I'm assuming she goes with repair. No, she doesn't. She does the dumbass thing again. Okay, perfecto. Takes 500 points less again. 3 tasks before streaks. Knows that we need to get that repair rotated in before the streaks. Now she, oh, so help me God. Textiles. Please tell me she doesn't rotate these. I'm going to lose it if she does. She finally managed to secure techs and chems. So here it only makes sense to start streaks. She has no other option. Anything else she could do would be stupid. There's the repair in the streaks like we wanted. Okay? Now she's got the stupid cargo, the key, or the coins. Okay. All right. That is how you follow the storyline. Now, like I said, if you go back through and you pick up any one of those screenshots throughout the week and you just randomly open it up anywhere, you could potentially draw the wrong conclusion if you don't follow the whole entire week and its patterns. That is what the history means in the Contest of Mayor's math. So whenever you guys do your comm math, you're looking at value opportunity, algorithm, history of the assignment. You're looking at value possibility, value difference. Is it limited time? Is it, something that has to be done during active wartime? What's the downtime on it? There are so many categories that you have to look at during comm math. And most of you guys look at 2 things, and that's value and opportunity. That's it. And that right there is why you're making these types of mistakes. So if you want to get good at the Contest of Mayors, you're going to have to look at every single category.